Live look now at the floor of the House, where lawmakers just finished debating a $484 billion relief package that passed earlier this week in the Senate. This will replenish the Small Business Fund and direct money for testing in hospitals. We're keeping an eye on that for when the voting begins there in the House. Meanwhile, a new AP poll shows most Americans are okay with the stay-at-home orders. 25% say they don't go far enough, in fact. 61% say they're about right. 12% say they're going too far. This is protests against stay-at-home orders that continue across the country. Some people say a judge, meanwhile, in Houston, Texas, has gone too far by requiring people in Harris County to wear masks or risk a $1,000 fine. The judge says we have to use, quote, every tool to keep people safe. Want to bring in special report anchor Bret Baier from Washington, D.C. Bret, nice to see you. Nice pirouette the other night in the briefing room. That was some talent right there. Based on the polling, a lot of folks may not agree with, what we're seeing here, but the great majority of Americans appear in that polling to be content with what the government is asking them to do right now. What's your read on that?
Well, a couple of things. One is that's now, and there is some fear out there about how long this virus is going to be at high levels and where it is in the country. We see New York and New Jersey. If you take them out of the picture, you've shown this many times very well on the stats. It's a different numbers game across the U.S. But with the fatalities, with the hospitalizations, there's still a lot of fear out there. However, you go with that to the unemployment at 26 million and jobs that are really hanging in the balance. I don't know if 2 weeks from now that polling would be the same. It's a state-by-state issue.
Yeah. We'll see what happens in Georgia tomorrow. We were just reporting on that a few moments ago, and Jonathan Serra is rolling that out. I'll stay on top of that. Tom Tillis is just suggesting earlier in this program, too, that North Carolina should go back to work in about 2 weeks. So you're going to see things, start to develop here in different ways, in different waves, literally. What about this judge in Texas? $1,000 fine, you got to wear a mask. I think thus far, Bret, the enforcement mechanism has not been triggered by and large. What's your view on that?
Right. It's been initiated by the residents themselves, taking their own risks or not, and then, municipalities saying, shelter at home, but not enforcing it with a mandate like this judge saying you have to wear the mask. I think most people are taking the advice. When you start crossing over the line to what you can't do, it becomes a different ballgame. And in extreme situations, it's obviously easier to do. I don't know if Houston is there.
Yeah. Lenny Curry is the mayor in Jacksonville, Florida. Last Friday afternoon, I know it seems like it was a year ago, but they opened up the beaches in Jacksonville, Florida. He took a lot of heat for that. And then when he said, we'll have police patrol, and my question to him was, well, how are you going to enforce this deal? And he said, we'll give them a verbal warning first, and we'll make sure that, people stay separate and apart. That was last Friday. 5, 6, 7 days later, we haven't heard a peep from Jacksonville. We'll check back in tomorrow and see whether or not things are going okay. But it appears that the rollout's been all right. Now, the Fox polling on 2020, here we go. Michigan and Pennsylvania, Biden versus Trump. Biden has an 8-point lead in Michigan. He has an 8-point lead in Pennsylvania. It's April. The landscape in America has changed significantly. How do you see this poll right now?
Well, I think it's significant. It is a good thing for Biden, but it's early. The campaign has not really ginned up yet. We haven't even gotten to a convention when the focus is on the 1 versus 1. Obviously, that's what we see every day, Joe Biden and Donald Trump. But right now, the country's focused on Donald Trump and this coronavirus and how he's dealing with it or not dealing with it and how the economy's doing or not. One caveat, in 2016, Michigan, Hillary Clinton going in, led by 4, according to the average of polls. Donald Trump won by 0.3. In Pennsylvania, she was going in with a lead of about 3, and Donald Trump won by 0.7. So even those 2 states at the very end last time, it went the other way. This is a different ball game this time around.
Yeah. Good deal. We'll see at 6 o'clock, okay? If the task force permits, I guess that's the way to say it. I think we've reached that point. Thank you, Bret. We'll talk to you later.